welcome back to Ruger Knits. My name's Claire and on my channel I talk about all things knitting. So I have a project vlog for you today. So I've got some finished objects. I think it's 4 finished objects, a couple of whips, some acquisitions to share, and then I've also got a couple of plans I'm going to share at the end, and I have loads of plans, so stick around for that. If you're knitting something, work away, have this on in the background while you're knitting. So some finished objects first. My first finished object I have, if you can see it, it's a little bit wrinkly because I have been wearing it and it was just sitting on the sofa there downstairs. But this is the Sevilla Blouse by Petite Knit. I absolutely love this. This is maybe a contender for my favourite thing that I've ever knit. So this, I knit it in the size small, I believe. I used 4.5mm needles. I can't remember. I think it was 4.5mm for most of it, and you probably sized down for some other parts, but I can't actually remember what the pattern calls for, but I always size down, so I wouldn't be surprised if I did size down for this. So the pattern itself, there's a boat neck, which is really cute. It's a little bit awkward. I don't want to put it on because it will look silly with this t-shirt underneath. But you can see here, it's hard to wear a t-shirt underneath. I have worn just like a bra or just like a vest top or something. So you just have like a little strap, but it looks a bit silly with a t-shirt underneath. But it's a boat neck, which I love. I have loved boat necks for a couple of years now. I just think they're so flattering. Something very like French and chic about it. So I absolutely love this about the pattern. It's knit. You start, I think you maybe start in the back probably, and you do the front and it's like knit flat, and then you join it together and knit straight down. There's a little bit of ribbing at the end and Italian bind off, and then you go back, pick up a load of stitches for the sleeve, and then knit the sleeves, and they have the same ribbing as well. And then at the very end you go back and you pick up stitches for the neckline, which I wasn't sure why you had to do that because it was already like a boat neck, but I think it just gives it that roll at the edge, which is really, really cute. The yarn that I knit this in is 2 yarns held together. It's Isager yarn Palet and Isager yarn Trio 1, and both of those are in the colour navy. Really strange to knit with. It's very like hard to knit with. It doesn't feel nice, but as soon as you block it, it's so lovely and soft. I also added a little label at the back because I find it very hard to tell. It says my name by Claire Mills. I find it very hard to tell what way is the front and back on this, so a little label at the back is perfect. So yeah, I love this one. It's great for summer. So it's, let me remember, I think it's linen and cotton. So it is like a nice, like more for like a summer evening. I'm roasting right now. It's like maybe like 24 degrees in Ireland at the minute. So I'm absolutely roasting. I did wear this when I was out walking the dog yesterday, the day before, and I was roasting. I had to take it off immediately when I came home. But yeah, I can just imagine myself like on holidays, out for dinner, bring it with you, put it on after dinner, whenever the sun starts to like properly go down. But yeah, I love it. I did share this one before as a whip, and I had gotten it was like 5 balls of like the main yarn, which is the palette, 5 balls in one dye lot and then 1 ball in a separate dye lot, and I was really worried about it, but I was like, do you know what, it'll be fine. So I knit with it. Whenever I showed it on camera, I feel like you could really tell it's one of the sleeves. Yeah, it's this one. You can really tell on camera the difference. Like there's a line like right here. So this part here is darker than up here. But whenever I look at it in person, you totally can't see it. Whenever I was blocking it, it was so obvious. I was like, oh my God, this is terrible. Like I'm gonna have to rip this back and try and get the other dye lot to do the end of the sleeve in. But you really can't see it in person. So I'm very happy with this one. Yeah, definitely a fave. Don't know if I'll be able to wear it in the winter, but and also just because it's hard to wear a t-shirt underneath, it's like a little bit of one of those like you really have to plan when you're going to wear it basically. But I love this. I love this. It's my favourite petite knit pattern. Potentially my other favourite was the Copenhagen cardigan, which I just think is so cute, but she slaps. She goes off with her patterns. The next finished object, which I don't have, but I'll put in a picture here, is my My Guinness Socks. So this is a pattern that I've been working on for a while. I knit my first pair, it's June now. I knit my first pair just before Christmas, and I knit another pair recently as a gift for my cousin to give to her dad for Father's Day. So he got them and he loves them, which I'm really, really glad about, because we had to hear what I had to do for the sizes. So these ones I knit them in, I started off with the extra large size, but my uncle's got very like broad feet, so I was really, really worried that they wouldn't fit him. So what I did was I just did like the normal sizing for the leg and the colour work and stuff as is on the pattern, and then whenever it came to where you split for like the heel turn, I cast it on, I can't fully remember, I cast it on a couple more stitches and then did the heel turn and stuff. So I had 82 stitches at the top for the leg part, and then 84 I remember for the foot. If you want to watch a full vlog about it, I actually have a full vlog about it, and I'll add like a little link in somewhere here, so you can click that and see. It's a really, really long vlog. It's like over half an hour, I think, but I enjoy watching a project vlog, so hopefully you will enjoy my project vlog. So yes, I did modify the extra large size to make sure that they would fit, and they did, so thank the Lord. The yarn I used is Symfonie Yarns Terra in Jodhpur Blue for the background colour. And then same as what I had done, I've knit these, like this is the third pair that I've knit. It's Drops Fabel that I used on the pints, and then for the, I just did a contrast colour on the toe and the heel and left it off of the cuff. So Drops Fabel again for the toe and the heel. And then Cascade Yarns Heritage in, it's like a colour, I think I'm going to mention it later, but it's a colour that's it's like 3682, I want to say 5682, which is just like a white colour. That's what I use for the little bits around the pints, and then the yellow yarn was just one from Sostrene Grene, like a cotton one or something. So very happy with those. That was like a commission that I did, so yeah, I was buzzing with that. I used 2.25mm needles for the majority of it, and then 2.75 for the colour work, just to make sure it would really fit. And then I knit the colour work inside out as well, just to make sure that the floats would stretch properly, which they apparently did. So let me tell you, I was stressing about these not fitting, because they can be that colour work cuff can be really tight getting over your heel, but apparently it worked. My aunt, so my cousin's mum, reached out to me about somebody else who wants another couple of pairs of those for her like husband and brother, I think it was. So I'm going to be knitting those at some point, but I'm just waiting to hear from her about yarn colours that she's thinking of and like what size she needs and stuff, so yay! My next finished object that I have, I've got a couple more pairs of socks, but I'll touch on them later. So the next finished object I have is, this is a hair tie bow. It's called the Dahlia hair tie bow by Isabel Cecilia, which is a free pattern that I found in Ravelry. There's two sizes. You can knit it so that this part here is like a lot bigger, but I knit this in the small size, which to be honest, it's still quite big. So this was a knit, can't even remember what size needles it calls for, but I didn't even do a gauge swatch for this. I was like, oh, it's a hair tie bow, it'll be fine. Even if it is a little bit off, it'll be completely fine. So I just went straight into knitting this. The yarn that I used was Drops Kid Silk in the colour Sage Green, and I used 2 strands of that held together. I was a little bit confused if there was supposed to, because there's a few yarn options you can have, and I was really confused about if it was supposed to be 2 strands of mohair held together, but that's what I did, and yeah, I think it's really, really cute. I kept putting these down. These were, I feel like I cast these on so I could have something to knit when I was like getting the bus to work, but then I wasn't knitting them for ages. I was knitting like other things instead, so I had these in my project bag for a while. And then the needles I was using were metal ones, and then I kept accidentally pulling the needles out, or pulling the project off the needles when they were in the bag. So it was really, really annoying. But there's one part, I'm trying to find it. Oh, I can see it here. Can you see? Where am I looking at? There's like a little gap here. Yeah, you can kind of see it. A little gap there where the needles came off, and then I couldn't remember what row I was on or what had happened, but it created a little hole. But to be honest, this, I'll put a picture in here. It's supposed to be, that bit goes around like your hair anyway, so it was completely fine. It's not like gonna fall apart or anything, and it's not obvious. It's not like I'm wearing it and there's gonna be like a visible hole like on the front or something. It just goes around like your hair bubble or whatever, so yeah, completely fine. But it's very cute, very girly. I love it. And good use if you've got like some extra mohair sitting around. Really good use for something quick, free and cute to knit up. So my next finished object I have, and bear with me because I have been wearing these today. These are my Ruffle Cuff Socks. So this one's exciting as well. This is a pattern that I just winged it, made it up, and I've now released it on Ravelry for free. So if you're interested in it, search up Ruffle Cuff Socks on Ravelry, or you can search for my user on Ravelry, which is Ruger Knits, the same as my YouTube channel. So let me tell you about these socks. The yarn is Inspiring Yarns Merino Smooth Sock in colour Caroline for the main like pinky part. I feel like it doesn't show you how like nice and like pink it is on the camera, but it's a lovely like dusty pink. And then the white parts I did in Cascade Yarns Heritage. Let me check. Cascade Yarns Heritage in the colour 5682. Sorry if there was a weird cut there, my dog started barking. You can probably hear him walking around. I don't have a microphone or anything, so you can probably hear everything, but he's walking around, you can hear his claws. Yes, a little bit about the construction. You may not even need to download the pattern, to be honest. I feel like it is very, very straightforward pattern. But if you want to download it, it is there for free on Ravelry. So you start off, you cast on double the amount of stitches that you would have, like you would just do like a normal sock with. Knit a little bit and then do decreases, so you're back to like your normal stitch count that you would have for like the leg and the foot part. Afterthought heel, so place the markers for that. Knit, and then I honestly do not know. I need to learn what this toe like type is called, but it's the one where you just do the decreases on either side like this, and it makes a nice little like trapezoid. Is that what the shape is called? And then you go back and you do the afterthought heel, and it's the exact same way that you do the toe. So yeah, I've worn these a couple of times. I did mention it's like 24 degrees in Ireland, so I wore them on, it's Saturday today, I wore them on Friday when I was walking the dog and immediately had to like come in. It was the same day I was wearing that jumper from before, and I immediately had to come in, take the jumper off, take my socks off because I was roasting. I'm just not cut out for wearing like any, like this is merino wool. I'm just not cut out for wearing that in the summer, but it'll be really, really nice once it cools down in September or October time. So yeah, I think these are really, really cute. I do have a little bit of a gap here where the like or corner or whatever of the afterthought heel is, which I need to work on a good technique for closing that up. I did try my best, but it's obviously not good enough. I didn't check my work on the right side. My dog's just breathing in the background there. I just noticed as well, so I've worn these a couple of times and there's like a little bit of like pilling already just on the white bit. The pink looks completely fine. That's good to know. I'll see how these hold up. I do have some other socks that I've done with this same white yarn, and I don't think they've been pilling, but I think it's maybe only like one pair of socks, or I know I've done a pair of socks where I did the contrast part of the toe and the cuff and potentially the heel as well in this white. I think they were okay. I don't know, maybe I was just walking a bit funny, but yes, these are available. It's Saturday today and I just published the pattern like literally 2 hours ago. So yeah, if you end up knitting them, 100% like link it to the pattern on Ravelry, because I would love to see some other people knit these, like what cool colors you choose if you end up doing like a contrast toe or whatever. But yeah, these are the Ruffle Cuff Socks. My next finished object is the Sunny Side Up Socks by Summerlee Knits, and these are from her sock project book. So these, as you can tell, I did like a little mix matched, I don't know what the right way to say that is, mismatched pair. So I just swapped the yarns over what one I had for the main colour. I think I originally knit this one, and then I wasn't actually, it looks so 70s to me. It's something about the pattern and this yellow, it just screams 70s to me. And I love the 70s, but I wasn't 100% sold on the way that these were. And I remember like before, whenever I was thinking about knitting these, I did originally think of doing them in blue. So for the second one, I knit them in blue. The yarns that I used is Symfonie Yarns Terra in the colour Turmeric for the yellow and Jodhpur Blue for the blue. And I love that yarn. It's quite like inexpensive when it comes to like sock yarns. It's about 12-13 pounds a hank, and I managed to get out of the Jodhpur Blue, I managed to get the Guinness socks that I showed earlier, a whole pair of those in quite a big size, and these out of it. Now, something a bit funny is you can tell there's like 3 rounds of yellow here, whereas there's only 1 round of blue here before the toe starts, and that's because I completely ran out of the blue. I was trying to finish the foot part of this while I was watching the last episode of The Last of Us, and I was so tense just because I wasn't sure if I was going to have enough yarn, but I did. Phew! And I just had like enough of a tail after to like weave in the end. But so a little bit about these socks. They use, I'm pretty sure it's 2.25mm needles, and then 2.75 for the colour work, and it also does an afterthought heel. And this, I knit these before I knit the Ruffle Cuff Socks, and this was the first time that I had done an afterthought heel. I had only ever done the like heel flap and gusset, so it was definitely like different to do these. It made the socks fly off the needles because you're not stopping to do like another bit, you're just continually like doing the same thing again and again, which can be a bit repetitive. There's not a break for the heel, but it just made these fly off the needle for me, because you just literally just knit a tube like this and then your sock is basically done. You just have to do those little finishing touches like a toe and a heel. So yeah, afterthought heel, which I thought was cute. I'd be worried because this isn't like enforced, like, or reinforced, sorry, the way that a heel flap and gusset sock would be. I'd be a wee bit worried if these do like start like if my shoes rubbed on them and the yarn became like quite thin, I would worry about that. But I'll see. I've got a couple of pairs now to try out, so I'll see how they hold up. I never mentioned as well, these and the Ruffle Cuff Socks. These are all knit in the size medium, which is around about, I think it's like an 8-inch circumference of my foot. So 64 stitches is what I would usually use for socks. So that's the size I knit these in, and they fit like a dream. You can feel the tightness with this heel, whenever you put it on, you can feel the tightness of the floats like under here, which is a bit of a strange feeling, but I haven't really worn these too much yet. I'm going to block them whenever I get around to it, probably today or tomorrow. So I'm going to block them, let them sit nicely, so I get a good picture for Instagram really, and then I will try these out. Maybe I think the weather should get a little bit worse next week and it won't be so hot, so maybe I'll get a chance to wear these for like a full day and see. But yeah, this is the Sunny Side Up Socks. And that is the end of all my finished objects. So on to the whips next, and I've only got a couple because I did just finish like 2 pairs of socks pretty recently. I have here Camisole number 10 by My Favourite Things Knitwear. So you can see I'm obviously a little bit further through one part. I've done the back up until you do like pretty much just knit it flat, and then you do armhole shaping, and I've got a few more rows of knitting flat on the front, and then armhole shaping, and then I'm going to join it in the round to knit the body, and then I think it's just like straight, like there's no shaping or anything, and I'll be stocking it, so that'll be really, really, really nice to knit. So I'm knitting this in the size small, and whenever I hold it up, it does looks quite small, but to be honest, you're adding like a good bit on here, so I think it should be fine. I did one gauge swatch with the correct needle sizes, which is a 4mm needle and a 5mm needle, so 5mm for like the majority of it, and then I think it's maybe just, when do you use the 4mm one? I think it's optional, like an optional neck thing that you do. There's an option to do I-cord for the neck, but I don't think I will. So yeah, it calls for a 5mm needle for the body, but I did my gauge swatch and I was ever so slightly off, and it was also just a wee bit too gappy looking for my liking, so I did size down one size to a 4.5mm needle. You can't even see that, it's so tiny. Yes, I sized down, and I do like the way, you can obviously still see like the light coming through, but I think just the way the stitches look is so much nicer now that I have sized down, which I always have to size down anyway, because I must knit very loose. Is that right? If I have to size down, I knit loose? Yeah, I must do. So the yarn that I'm using here is a recommended yarn, which is, let me remember. It's Knitting for Olive, pure silk, and I've gone for the colour Artichoke. I love green. Green is my favourite, so I don't know if this shade of green is my favourite, but I just didn't want to do too many dark green things because I wear so much like dark green. So yeah, mix it up, little light green thing for the summer. You hold it together, so 2 strands held together, and that is just how you knit the whole thing. The size that I'm knitting calls for 4 balls of the Knitting for Olive, so yeah, you're basically working through like one whack, and then I'll join in more yarn later. So yeah, it is a really, really straightforward knit. There's like a little bit of like I can't even remember how I did this, you know. I feel it's like raglan or something. I can't even remember how I did it. But yeah, there's that little bit there, and then I think there is, God, I literally knit this like a week ago and I can't remember. Yeah, it is pretty straightforward. Like there's nothing that you were like, oh, how do you do that? So yeah, nice easy knit. The only thing I did do was for one of the parts, I think it was on the front, it asks you to knit along. I think it's whenever, because it is joined in the round at the start, and then you split it in 2, and whenever you split it, it just asks you to like knit along and then turn. And I was like looking, I was like, does it say anything about German short rows here, or like how to turn? And it didn't. So in my head I was like, oh right, okay, it must be a German short row, but it's not. It's because you're splitting it in 2. You just literally like turn the work, and then you leave the other stitches, and then you like knit along, and then you put the other stitches on hold. So I have one bit, I said it was on the front, it was on the back actually. One bit that I accidentally did a German short row turn. I can feel it. It's like right here. You can't really see the difference. You can a little bit, but it's just slightly thicker yarn there because I accidentally, did the German short row when it was supposed to be literally just like turn my work. So whoopsie daisies, that was my bad. But yes, I will hopefully finish this potentially before the end of June maybe. There's not much to do once I finish the body. You just like bind off and then that's it. And then I mentioned you could do an optional I-cord neckline, but that is like if you want a tighter neckline, which I don't want. So I'm happy enough just to knit the body and finish it. My next whip is a big mess, so bear with me. Here we go, it's a fishing net. No, I'm joking. This is the 82-16 pullover, or 8216 pullover, and it is one of the free patterns from Drops Design. I'm just noticing a mistake, you know. Look at that big stitch. Oh god, I must have forgot to knit that or something. Oh well, it's not the end of the world. I think I will live. Hopefully that doesn't affect anything, because this I didn't even explain what it is. It's basically like a beach cover-up. So my fiance and I started thinking about, we're getting married in September, and then we're going to do a honeymoon we're looking at March time, and we were thinking about Jamaica. So I think this would be lovely. Do you know, like when you're going for lunch and you've been swimming or you've been to the beach or whatever, and you need to put something on to go into the restaurant, I think this will be really like a nice little thing to just throw on. So the yarn that I'm using is a Drops one. It's Drops Bomull-Lin. I hope I've said that right. And I'm using the colour, I think it's called dark blue. Yeah, it's just the colour dark blue. There's two options for this pattern. You can do it as like a longer, like nearly like dress kind of length, or you could just do it as like a jumper length, which is what I want to do, because I'll probably just get like a sarong or something like that on the bottom, and then just wear this as like a little thing to throw over. It has like a long, I don't even know what you call it, long drop stitch or something. So what you're doing is you're knitting a couple of rows, and then you do like a couple of yarn overs, and then on the next row you knit like the normal stitch and then drop the yarn overs, and that creates this big like gappy stitch. So yeah, I think this is going to be really, really nice. I don't think there's going to be a lot more knitting that I have to do in this. It is knit in pieces and I believe seamed, which is why I'm a little bit worried about that stitch that looked like it was dropped over here. So this is the front, and there's like a thicker like bottom part on it. So this is the front, and then you get to, it looks massive. I'm doing this in size small, but it looks massive, but obviously that's what it's supposed to look like. So you knit up to the armpits, and then you do some kind of shaping, and then you probably continue knitting, and then do the neck, and then you do the same thing for the back, and then there's sleeves as well, like full length sleeves, which I think will be really, really cute too. So yeah, 5 balls of this, and so far I would say maybe like halfway through my first ball, so I don't think I'm going to use 5 balls. Who knows, the sleeves could be like deceptively like yarn heavy, but we'll see. But yes, I'm in no rush. I hate knitting the drop stitches. They're constantly getting caught on my needle. This is a massive, like a 7mm needle, but they're constantly just getting caught on like the part where, no, it's not that part, it's where the thin part of the needle goes into the thicker part. They're just constantly like getting caught whenever I'm doing that, which is really, really frustrating. So this is not the most relaxing thing to knit, but it's for my holiday in March, so zero pressure on me to try and get this done at all. I think it'll look cute, it'll look nice and beachy, but I'm just not loving it at the minute. So those were my 2 whips. Now on to acquisitions. The first thing I want to share is this notebook that I got. So this is just from Amazon. I just searched for like graph paper notebook or something, and I found this one, which is really nice. It's spiral bound, like pretty hard like plastic covers, and it also comes with this little ruler, which is really cute and handy. So I don't want to show like ideas that I have because I've written in this quite a bit already, but yeah, it's literally just like graph paper. So whenever, if I'm drawing like a design, like it's really, really good for colour work charts, if you're just thinking of ideas and like drawing things down, it's really good. And then I can use that little ruler as like so I don't go over the lines if I'm trying to be really like neat and things. Yeah, I'm using this for a few ideas. It's mostly sock patterns and things, and I've got some little scribbles in there. I'll give you a real quick glimpse. I want to do something with like fruit on it. I think that would be cute, so hopefully that will be a pattern at some point. Got lots of little ideas written down. I wrote down the pattern for the Ruffle Cuff Socks in here first. I got colouring pencils as well, so I wrote it in the colouring pencils at first and then switched to a pen. But yeah, I just think it's really good if you're thinking about becoming like a knitwear designer. or even if you just want to have some little notes written down for yourself, for patterns for yourself, I would definitely recommend a little graph paper notebook thing. So yeah, that's yarn related, that's knitting related, so I thought I would share that. A few yarn acquisitions next. Apologies, I'm really warm right now and I can't put a fan on because you would hear it. I did a pretty big yarn order for a lot of things that I was planning on knitting from Wool Warehouse recently. So I got a couple of the yarns. I got the yarn for that Drops like beach cover up in this order, and then I did like a separate order of knitting for Olive as well. But I've got a couple more things from Wool Warehouse. So I have this yarn here, a big massive cake of yarn. This is Yarnsmith's Pebble Haze Prince DK, and I've got an idea for this one to do like another beach cover up thing, but like a shrug, so it'll have like long sleeves and then just be like this here. So I think that'll be really cute as well for holidays. So it's very like woolly yarn though, so I hope it's not, I hope it won't go like stick to my skin and everything when I'm sweating. But yeah, I really like, I'm not so keen on the yellow bits, I like the dark bits. So what I might do is just whenever I get to yellow bits, just cut the yarn and then find another dark bit and join that in. So one cake should do it. Fingers crossed, but again, that's not something, I'm probably going to finish the Drops design beach cover up before I start this one, because they're really similar designs. I've got an idea of a pattern that I'm going to use for this one, and it's very gappy as well, so I don't want to knit like two things that are really similar like that at one time. That was my first bit of yarn. I got another Symfonie Yarns Terra. This time this is the colour Scarlet. So I've got a like family friend who keeps joking that he really wants to buy, or he really wants me to knit him some socks, and he actually bought my sock pattern for the Guinness socks thinking that he would get a pair of socks out of it, and luckily he's like, he's having a laugh about it, but yeah, as if you're going to get like a full pair of socks for £3 when it doesn't even ask you what colour or size or anything you want. But anyway, so I'm going to knit him a pair of socks. He really likes like DeLoreans, like from the movie Back to the Future, and they have a logo, it's like DMC. So in my notebook, wherever I put it, I've drawn up a little design where I'm just going to do DMC on the cuff and knit the rest of it in red. It's a very bright red, so I hope he likes this, but I'm not going to do that anytime soon because I've got those other couple of sock like orders going to come in, and I've also got other plans that I'll talk about in a little bit. But yeah, these are, I got the yarn for it, so I can maybe start it just whenever and just have it on hold somewhere. And then my final yarn acquisition is this one. So if I hold it the right way up, this is West Yorkshire Spinners Exquisite Lace, which is a 80%, sorry, there's like yarn tickling my face. 80% Falkland wool, 20% mulberry silk. And what I want to do with this is knit a garter for my elopement and my like wedding party. I was looking on Ravelry and there are some garter patterns, but I'm not feeling that inspired by them. There was one I saved that I might knit, but I was also kind of thinking I might just try it myself. But lace is something that I've only ever done like maybe once before, so I'm not that confident with it. So I don't know, I might start it and see how it turns out, and if it's terrible I can just buy the pattern that I've seen and just knit that, because I don't want to be stressed out about something that I'm going to use for my wedding day when I can avoid that stress. I have another acquisition that I'm kind of going to share here, but I don't have it. It is this yarn. I will share the details because I can't remember what it's called, but basically it's from Dye Candy, who is a like a, what do you call it, like an independent yarn dyer in Northern Ireland where I'm from. So I've actually bought a hang of her yarn before, and it was really nice. It was like one of my favorite pairs of socks that I've knit was with a hang of her yarn. So I have an idea of another pair of socks that I'm gonna do which is gonna be, I have no idea how to do it, but I've got in my head like a cable, but not going, you know the way a cable would go like up and down like a jumper or a sock or whatever. I've got an idea of one going across like in a circle, but I don't know how that's going to work out. So yeah, I'm gonna wait until I get the yarn and then try it out. I've got drawings in my notebook as well, so fingers crossed for me. So yeah, I want to do like a cable and then like little baubles as well on it, and I just had it in my head as soon as I thought of that. I thought of like a lovely light purple speckled yarn, so I'm going to try that and see what happens. That's it for my acquisitions. So now I'm just going to talk about a few plans, and I'm reading off my laptop here because I have loads of things written down, so bear with me. Potentially want to knit a dress, so I'm thinking of knitting the Coastline mini dress by Ogla Knitwear design. I'll see if I do that because it's going to take me ages. That could be something for next summer, but I did see it and I thought it was gorgeous, so that is a potential plan, but don't hold me to it. I also really want for like autumn and winter a lovely Fair Isle jumper, and I've been looking for literally like probably a year now for a pattern that I really like. So I want a nice like thick collar, like a folded over collar, and I want like at least 2 or 3 colours in the Fair Isle part and then just quite plain for the rest of it. So I've been looking everywhere and I haven't been able to find a pattern that meets exactly what I'm after. So I've found this thing and I'd never heard of it before. It's the Sostrene Grene like jumper or like pattern collection or whatever by Tin Can Knits, and it sounds as if it's quite expensive. It's about £20, but it sounds as if they have like all these colourwork motifs and they tell you what sizes and things like that, and you just like kind of put it together yourself. So I may, if I don't find anything else, that's an option that I'm definitely thinking of. But yeah, again, that'll not be until the end of summer probably, or if I finish all my knitting and I'm like, right, I want to cast something on in like August so I can have it ready for like September, October, then I might do that then. But yeah, I'm really unsure about that one because I don't know how difficult it's going to be. I don't know what I'm going to get whenever I purchase it. Like, I don't know what it's going to look like. But I've seen some people's project photos and they've been really nice, so I might just do it. Socks, I've got a load of ideas. So I already talked about the DeLorean ones. So the family friend, his partner, I feel like I don't want to leave her out if I give him a pair of socks, so I want to knit her something. So I'm thinking I might knit her, she's got a cockapoo and a King Charles Cavalier Spaniel, and I'm thinking I might knit her a pair of socks with one of those breeds on it. I feel like that's going to be really hard, but I need to like draw it out and see what it would look like, especially if I want to do it like in like an 8 like stitch repeat, or I could potentially do it across 16 or 32 or something like that, and just do it like, don't do it so there's loads of the same pattern around the cuff. I don't know. I feel like that one's gonna be really hard to make it obvious like what kind of dog it is basically, but that's an idea that I've got. I showed you the citrus drawings I had done in my notebook, so I've got an idea to do like an orange one, a lemon one, a lime one, so that might come out. I need to get a lot of different colour yarns for that though, so that's an idea that I've got, but yeah, probably not one that's going to come around anytime soon. I mentioned before as well about the Guinness socks, so I've got 2 more pairs of those coming my way, so that'll definitely feature in a video at some point. And then my purple socks as well, I'd mentioned earlier. Other plans, I was on Instagram very recently and I saw on my explore page the most beautiful like orangey brown, I'll explain the picture to you, hopefully you can help me find it. It was an orangey brown slip over and it was on a mannequin and there was like a white shirt underneath it, and there was a few photos I remember scrolling through and it was really nice, but I didn't like it or save it or anything, and I can't remember whose post it was. And then I went out of it and like refreshed my explore page, and obviously it wasn't there, but I was thinking about it like a day later, and I was like, you know what, that slipover I saw was like really, really nice. Like I would love to knit something like that. But it's gone into the ether. So I've still got that in my brain that I want to knit like a cute slipover like that, but I really want to find that pattern. I've been looking on Ravelry for it and everything, and I just couldn't find it. So hopefully the Instagram gods bless me and put it back on my explore page so I can find it, but we'll see. So my final plan that I haven't spoken about at all yet, my brother lives in Toronto. He moved there maybe about 9 months ago, and he really likes the Toronto Maple Leafs. I don't even know what that is. Is it a hockey team or a football team or something? I don't know. And he asked me, could I knit him a jumper with like their logo on it? So he wants it in like the jumper to be in blue and the logo, like the maple leaf, to be white with blue writing on it. So I put it, he sent me a picture of the logo, and I put it into Stitch Fiddle, and it was okay. Like, it gave me like a decent idea of where to start, but I think I want to draw it up myself and put it into like a Google Docs thing or Google Sheets, sorry, or like Excel, so I can really make sure it's perfect, because what was annoying me was like the O's in Toronto were like different shapes and everything. Like I know you can copy and paste some of the parts of it over, but it just wasn't perfect. And then the shape of the maple leaf was like, obviously you'd want it to be an exact mirror image if you were to cut it down, like the outside of the leaf, but it wasn't. So I want to make sure it is like completely perfect, so I might do that. But he's coming over whenever we get married in September. I really hope he's not expecting me to have it done by then, because there's no way. Maybe for Christmas for him, and I'll post it over, because I don't think he'll be home for Christmas. But yeah, there's no way. But anyway, that is a plan that I have, and if I do that, I'm gonna just do like a jumper pattern myself, and then maybe be able to release it. So that'll definitely be exciting. I've really liked the idea of doing a jumper pattern, but it just sounds such a big task. But I'm gonna try it. No harm in trying. And I'm not giving myself a deadline for this, so if I have to like undo it all, like that's fine. I'll just let myself do it. So yeah, that was the end of my plans that I had, and the end of the video. So thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it, leave a comment of what you're knitting on at the minute, any pattern inspo you have for me. If anybody knows what that slipover was, leave a comment. And if you like videos like this, then hit the subscribe button, because I'll try and post more videos and more like project vlogs and things like that. Maybe I'll do one of like autumn patterns or something like that. I don't know. I feel like it's a bit late to do a summer one. So yeah, if you like those kind of videos, then subscribe, because there will be more coming your way. But yeah, thank you for watching to the end, and I will hopefully catch you in the next one. Bye!